Generative AI is like a groundbreaking technology capable of like creating new content, solving problems, and also automating the processes. So today, like we'll focus on its application in cloud native DevOps, a methodology combining the scalability of cloud native principles with the agility of like DevOps practices. So to set the expectations throughout this talk, I'll highlight like real world use cases, key benefits and challenges, along with like practical advice for integrating AI into your DevOps pipeline. And also, but first, like let's define like what Gen AI really is. So what is like Gen AI? Like Gen AI refers to models like GPT and DAL-E that can create new outputs such as text, images, and even code by learning the patterns from existing data. So to give like real life examples, right? So ChatGPT assists with the NLP tasks like natural language tasks, and with also with the GitHub Copilot generates code, and DALL-E creates like images. So these tools are not just tools; they are like enablers of great productivity and creativity in the tech workflows. So to highlight like relevance to the topic on the DevOps, right? Like in depth, like in DevOps generally, the Gen AI can streamline workflows, improving the collaboration and reducing the manual effort, which leads us to why it's gaining traction in modern development. And when it comes to the transition, before like we deep dive into the applications, let's explore the challenges in the modern software development that generates like AI that helps to address. So let me go to the next slide and let's talk about the challenges. So like what are the challenges in like DevOps, software development, right? So let's go deep dive into this. So firstly, like let's say rapidly evolving technologies make it difficult for developers to stay up to date, right? So Gen AI can help bridge that gap by offering context, assistance and also recommendations. And also like secondly, let's talk about like increasing complexity of applications requires more sophisticated tools to manage code and infrastructure effectively. AI provides automation and error reduction. And on the next, let's talk about like shorter development cycles place pressure on the teams to deliver faster pace. So AI can accelerate testing and deployment, giving teams like the breathing room, right? So, and like finally, security and compliance concerns are growing, as we all know. Gen AI can proactively identify the vulnerabilities and ensure adherence to evolving regulations. So, how do we integrate like Gen AI into DevOps effectively? So let's define a foundation of like how native DevOps. So if I go to next slide. Okay. So let's go to the defining cloud native DevOps, right? So cloud native DevOps emphasizes applications designed for the cloud, scalable, resilient, and leveraging the microservices architecture. So if we talk about the DevOps practices, DevOps integrates planning, coding, deploying, testing, and also monitoring into the unified automated pipeline, fostering the collaboration across teams. So to highlight like the synergy, right? So combining these principles with AI creates like an ecosystem where applications are not only effective but also like adapted to evolving demands. So now let's see like how AI bridges the gap into the ecosystem, right? So okay, so let's go and talk about like see how AI can bridge the gap, like integrating with DevOps. So let's break down the benefits, right? Firstly, AI automate the repetitive task, as you all know, like freeing up the developers to focus on strategic and high value content. Like let's say if developers are writing code for the business development, they can actually focus on the business logic instead of like trying to figure it out like DevOps stuff like deploying the CI/CD pipelines and configuring and etc. And also it improves the efficiency, and also by reducing errors and accelerating the workflows and accepting like the income of that, right? So and also AI provides insights from data, enhancing the application performance and also the security. So most importantly, it helps organizations adapt to changing technology landscapes seamlessly without no issues. And also to talk about the real world impact, many organizations already report shorter development cycles and better scalability with AI driven DevOps. And let's dig deeper into like specific AI capabilities into DevOps cycle and starting with like code generation. So let's talk about like how AI can generate or help the automating the code generation. So AI powered tools like we all know Copilot, right? So GitHub Copilot assists with code completion, saving developers hours of manual work. And AI can generate entire code blocks or functions from simple prompts to reducing repetitive tasks over and over. And code factoring tools like analyze existing code to suggest the improvements, ensuring the better readability and also the performance. So to talk about like the impact, these features help like reduce the technical debt and also accelerate the delivery timelines. And also let's talk about the transition. So beyond coding, AI can optimizes continuous integration and also the continuous delivery pipelines. So let's talk about like how AI can actually help in like enhancing CI/CD pipelines. So the key improvements in this area, right? So automated testing generates by AI ensures broader test coverage and also the faster bug detection. This is one of the key improvements that AI can help within the CI/CD world. And also like AI powered deployments tools like analyze performance data to recommend optimal like strategies for scaling and deployment. And predictive maintenance is also like one other area that we can improve with AI. Like predictive maintenance monitors systems to identify and address issues before it actually happens. And to also like let's also explore how AI role in like enhancing security, because as we all know, like security is the key and also for any development like nowadays, right? So let's talk about how we can improve security and vulnerability detection. So let's discuss about the security enhancements, for example. So AI detects unusual patterns in network trafficking, right? And enables faster responses to potential threats. So vulnerability assessments tools scan code and suggest patches, reducing the risk of breaches. And other example is like security policy, enforcement ensures compliance by automating and mitigating the risky configurations. So now let's take a look at like how AI can optimize resource allocation and scaling. So to talk about that, let me go. Yeah, to talk about like how AI can really help in resource allocation and scaling. So one of the key areas here is the AI can predict resources based upon the historical data of the application and also optimizing cost and performance. It enables like dynamic scaling and also ensures applications respond to real-time demands. And cost management insights help organizations minimize the cost expenditure while maintaining the efficiency. And also like we discussed, like AI can also help in enhancing the observability and monitoring. Let's deep dive into how AI can help in the monitoring and also the observability world. So one of the couple of common features that AI monitors application performance, detecting the bottlenecks and suggesting improvements. It identifies the anomalies, alerting teams to issues like early on, like before it actually occurs. And also it can help giving like a RCA, the root cause analysis, speeds up the troubleshooting, reducing the downtime. And also one other example is like if you want to have like an RCA for your application, like if you had like a production outage and you don't have to sit and write the whole RCA, and if you have like a tools like AI where it has ability to monitor your application, it can actually provide you like a insights based upon the outage. And also like not lastly, I think let's discuss about how AI can help like streamlining testing and also quality assurance, right? So AI generates like test cases for ensuring comprehensive coverage. It also automates test execution, providing faster feedback and also saving time. Predictive quality analysis identifies potential issues before they affect production. And also let's talk about like how we can collaborate and also ethical consideration in AI adoption. So overall, like ethical and governance considerations, like these are the key areas, right? Because the data privacy and also the fairness and the transparency is one of the key areas we have to maintain for the governance considerations. So when talking about the data privacy, ensuring data is responsibly handled to comply with regulations. And also we have to mitigate the AI basis to avoid discriminatory practices. And also we have to build the AI models to foster trust and also the accountability. And also let's talk about like how the future of the AI powered cloud native DevOps. So AI will continue to drive greater automation, efficiency, and innovation in DevOps. So organizations that adopt these technologies will gain a comprehensive edge in the rapidly evolving landscape. So, and I would like to thank you all for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any questions or deep dive into like any of the topics we covered. Thank you all.